let's come back. Starting with Kayla, the first question is, how does he feel about Americans? Janice, did you hear what she said? What'd she say? Other adjectives to describe Americans according to Castro. Sure, Charlene.
Selfish.
Selfish, thank you. Others, shout them out.
Evil.
Greedy, evil, beautiful. What'd you say? Okay, it was funny, whatever you said. Let's stretch it a step further. Can we connect this speech to anything in history? I'm trying to put this in the big picture. Is Castro like anybody else in history, or does the Americans fit like anybody else in history? Sure. Complete sentence, please.
When Japan rejected the conquering.
Why are they similar?
Because they like the leader in Japan was being mean, like sarcastic to the person who was asking to trade with him.
And these are similar because?
They're similar because Castro is doing the same thing. He's saying the bad qualities of the U.S., how they're selfish.
Ms. Gordon, connection?
I think this is similar to Karl Marx stuff about the Communist Manifesto, because he's basically using the Cubans as the proletariat, as I say.
Yeah, beautifully, Jeff.
And the U.S. government as the
Bourgeoisie.
Yeah.
What's he suggesting?
He's suggesting that he's basically saying that the U.S. government is the reason why the Cubans are in this state, and that the Cubans must revolt in order to come out of the state, so that's how it's a
How beautiful. Jay says the last word.
This relates to my homeland, the Dominican Republic, in the reign of Trujillo, because three beautiful young women, the Mirabar sisters, they were revolutionaries, and they was like, the more that they almost said the same thing. The more they liberate themselves from Trujillo, the better the Dominican Republic will be for females and as well for men.
Close it out. What is this show about, maybe that region of the world, about the Caribbean?
What?
The connection you made. It shows something about the Caribbean.
That there is a lot of
And I wonder if it comes back to the fact that the Spanish conquered it and treated it like their own sugar plantation. You know, maybe that's causation. Interesting stuff, okay? In any case, we should recognize, I'm up here for one more second, we should recognize that when Castro came into power, anybody ever guessed about what he did? What does the cartoon suggest, DeAndre? How's he treating his people? Probably not. Can you support it?
Because the guy down there became, I think that's a sewer.
Yeah, it's a sewer.
Yeah, you don't care about them.
He doesn't care about them, right? And in fact, he had a secret police, Fidel Castro did. Right? And I'm going to read off the PowerPoint because I forget the order of bullets. He didn't have free press. Maybe under notes or wherever you want. All right? And a lot of people fled Cuba. Right? There were a lot of refugees, and that's why Miami today is filled with Cuban people, because they all fled. They were all scared of Fidel Castro. They were sort of like the kulaks in the USSR. Remember how the kulaks weren't wanted in Russia? Similarly, there were a lot of refugees in Cuba. And finally, the secret police would torture people every year. Anybody who was against Castro would be in trouble. Marilyn, I'm wondering if you would help me out. Would you connect this a little bit to our Britney Spears and Cameron Diaz metaphor? What's Castro doing here? No, I'll take it. Castro is leaving America. He revolted against America, and he's becoming a communist. Castro's leaving the U.S. and he's becoming a communist.
Communists is Cambridge.
The communists are like?
Cambridge.
How so?
Because Cuba was with the U.S., which is Britain, and then Cuba is Justin Timberlake, and then after Batista wasn't leader anymore, Castro went against the U.S. and became a communist, and became a communist, which is Canada.
Marilyn, did you catch that? What's Castro in the situation?
Castro is going with the Soviet, which is Cameron, and
Yeah.
Castro and JT.
Castro is JT. Cuba is JT.
yeah.
We did a nice little metaphor hook for
Okay.
all the last break. You got it. He's leaving Britney Spears, the USA, and is joining Cameron Diaz. So I'm going to ask you, and I'm on the top of page 3 in an interactive handout now, and this is the thought process we're going to do all day. How do the Soviets, Cameron Diaz, feel about this? How do the Soviets feel about this? And I'm going to guide this one, but you're going to do the next one, okay? If I'm the Soviets and I see Fidel Castro overthrew the US, and he's going communist, if I'm Soviet, what word should I use?
That's my boy.
That's my boy, right? So I said, if I'm Soviets, I'm feeling excited.